And it goes a little something like
Magandang umaga! Welcome to Gubat! Tara na't sabay-sabay nating alamin ang istorya ng bayan ng Gubat. Alat na!
Ano nga ba ang istorya ng bayan ng Gubat? Tara na't samahan niyo akong alamin ang istorya ng Gubat. Alam niyo ba, ang Gubat raw ay dating kagubatan na punong-puno ng mga puno. They say Gubat was a very thick forest near the coast of the Pacific Ocean, and it was a small barrio of Bulusan and was inhabited by a few number of people. They were Tagalogs, Bisayans, and Albalians people. From the past story, they say they come from Bulusan by foot to hunt wild animals in the place. They also built their houses near the shore of the Pacific Ocean, which is the place Buri, and now it is Barrio Buenavista. In 1764, Gubat finally became a town with Don Pedro Manook, the first teniente del barrio, also becoming the first gobernadorcillo. The word Gubat means forest in Tagalog. However, the name applied to the town is derived from the verb ginubat, a term used by the natives which means raided. In the early days when Christians and Muslims were constantly at odds, Muslim pirates would come in the southern seas to raid the town. Because of the frequent raids, the town was referred to as Ginubat, which eventually became Gubat.
Sabi nila mayroong 42 na barangay ang Gubat. At kabilang dito ang Barangay Buenavista at Barangay Luzon. Itong dalawa ang inilalang pinakamalawak na baybayin sa bayan ng Gubat. Historical background of Barangay Buenavista. Barangay Buenavista is among the earliest settlement that existed in Gubat, it being along the shore. The name Buenavista was adopted and used by the inhabitants after it was uttered by a Spaniard. When the Spaniards came to rule over the islands and when they lorded over Gubat, the trail used by Spaniards going to Bulusan was via Malubago and Danlog. Historical background of Barangay Rizal. Barangay Rizal's original name was Malubago, had already existed or settlement had already flourished before the Spaniards came in 1731. Malubago is derived from the Malubago tree that once thrived in this area. Rizal was used to honor the national hero Dr. C.P. Rizal. The old name of the barangay was notoriously spread because of its connotation. In the Spanish word Malubago was implied to mean Maluvago, or bad whip, because of strangers were often whipped when they would stroll in the place. The practice continued until 1916 when the respected Villaroya family initiated the move in changing the name Malubago to Rizal. In 1830, Malubago became a barrio. Gregorio Estilier stood as the Cabeza de Malubago. In 1985, the barangay was officially recognized as a barrio.
Ngayon, dumako tayo sa The Legend of Ginubat.
Ayon sa The Legend of Ginubat, in moonlight nights, tagulipnan a nocturnal half-bird and half-master would sneak to devour newborns in the village. Out of fear, the villagers had to relocate on several occasions to escape the menace of the beast. This prompted the warriors Aramag, Maragadaw, and Mararag to make a covenant to fight it out of the last man. Instead of fighting the settlers face to face, Tagulipnan inflicted them with more sufferings by driving all the fish in the sea nearby and causing typhoons to destroy the crops. Half helpless as they were every time Tagulipnan would reign over the skies. The people renewed that faith in the Supreme Being and asked for blessing and help. One day, a warrior named Mardawan, flanked by 3 soldiers, appeared before the astonished villagers. As soon as the sun set and moon gave its reflected light, the warriors kept watch over a hill until Tagulipnan showed up. While battling Tagulipnan, Mardawan sounded the bugyong, then a multitude of bugyo, Marisugi and Manabang soared above with all their force, pinning down Tagulipnan before he could even use his powers. At the sound of another bugyong, the people came out from their hiding place and learned of the raid by the school of fish. Soon they were shouting, "Ginubat! Ginubat!" with joy and happiness.
Ngayon, dumako naman tayo sa kasaysayan ng Ginubat Festival. The word Ginubat is an old Bicol word which if translated means raided. Ginubat Festival is celebrated in Gubat, Sorsogon. This old town of Sorsogon was one of the many places in Bicol which were frequently raided by Moro pirates who would come to loot and burn houses. Women were raped and people were taken as captives. Downplaying with this dark history, the people of Gubat, Sorsogon choose to associate the word Ginubat with their folk story of a time where their shores were frequently raided by giant fishes. Many people were alarmed by this phenomenon, but nonetheless, they celebrated the bounties that came with the appearance of large fishes on their shores. Many people actually believe that this is how the town got its name. Nowadays, this festival is celebrated during the second week of June. It is also during this time that the town celebrates its fiesta. Accordingly, street dancing highlights the event.
Ngayon, dumako naman tayo sa pinakasikat na simbahan at sinasabing dinudumog ito ng maraming tao, ang St. Anthony de Padua.
It was in Kakugunan, or known as now as Kugon, where the first Gubat Parish Church was built, the St. Anthony of Padua Parish. June 13 of every year has always been a special day for the Gubat nuns since June 13, 731, when the missionary Franciscan founders dedicated Gubat to God in honor of Saint Anthony of Padua. But while the new church was strong enough to withstand typhoons, it was not so as earthquakes were concerned. During the earthquake which preceded the disastrous eruption of Mayon volcano in 1814, the new church crumbled. Transferred it the site of the pueblo chosen earlier, and this was the place called Pinontingan, which was protected by a thick mangrove and thorny bamboo called Moruruki.
Ngayon, dumako naman tayo sa cultural heritage ng Gubat.
Gubat Heritage Center. Erected in 1918, Casas Coral Sabater was the former residence of Don Juan Escoral, one of Gubat's gobernadorcillo during the Spanish colonization, who served the town from 1871 to 1872, 1881 to 1882.
And now, let's go to Monreal Ruins.
The Monreal building is distinctive. It is the only school building in the country entirely made of corals and stones. The Cabaldon building replaced this first school building of Gubat. This Cabaldon building was erected in 1936 following the enactment of Act No. 1801 known as the Cabaldon Act.
And now, let's go to the building of Bicol University Gubat.
Sabi nila, ang gusali ng Bicol University Gubat ay dating Spanish Presidencia na isang munisipyo.